Okay, this is part 3. We're going to continue our development. Last time we ended where we were working on the situation where we have a bad reading, and we got so far as producing a couple of lines of the output report. So let's go back and see what we have to do. Okay. Again, the report has to have the customer name, and instead of charges due, we have to put something special. So what do we have to put? This as charges due. So let's continue with our program. Alright. So we're going to output charges due and this, do it. Output it just as you see it. And then we need 2 blank lines followed by what? Power usage. Oops. Power usage. And what's left? Inline. What's the last thing? I think the last thing is just these dashes. So we'll put these in. Oops, wrong thing. Last thing is this, the dashes. And give myself a little space here. Sorry about that. Alright. Now, you might say I took up a lot of space just to do the output, but when I do it this way, I get a feel just by looking at things whether it's going to come out looking sensible. So let's go ahead and compile this. We're going to run it. We're going to say none. And we're going to focus on bad reading. So we're going to say 2-1 bad stuff. And are we getting the output that we expect? Yes, the output is coming out just the way it should. So what do? We take a deep breath and say, whew, we got started. Alright, so let's go back and to the program and see what we have to do. Notice that we're handling the bad meter reading. Otherwise, we have a good reading. What is required if the reading is good? We're going to set bad reading to false. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to say it's false. We got to calculate kilowatt hours used. Do we have a variable for kilowatt hours? Kilowatt hours used. Let's do the calculation. kWh used is equal to the difference between the end meter end minus meter start. Now we're going to calculate the utility bill, and we're going to output the bill. Alright, let me show you a little trick. Let's hold off calculating the bill for right now, and let's worry about printing out. We already know how to print. Let's make sure we can print. So let's set the charge right now. Let's say the charge is $1. This is temporary, so I'm going to put it over here. Charge equals $1.99. Let's do that. And now we're going to come back to that later. Now we're going to print out the bill. So what does the bill look like? It looks like all this stuff you had up here, doesn't it? It looks like all of that. 4, 6, 8, 10. Looks like all these 10 lines here. So I'm going to copy these lines, put them in right here. Thought I was in Pico. Okay, so customer name, charges due, we're going to put what? Now, here's where we have to be a little careful because the label is this much. Now we have to do some formatting, don't we? Because we're printing a dollar amount. Let's take a look at what the format says. The format says right after the dollar sign, we can have 2, 4, 6, there's 7. The width of this is 7 with 2 decimal places. So what do we have to say? It's this, and now we have to format. Set width to 7. We got to say fixed, show point. A lot of stuff on it. And set precision to 2. And now we can output the charge. Why don't I do this? It may, and that's the only time I have to do it. Okay. And so now the charge will come out, and what comes out after it? Power usage is what? It's the kilowatt hours used. What about the formatting? We're using how many spaces for that? 2, 4. We're using, go back to this. How many spaces for power usage? We're going to do 2, 4, 5, followed by a space. So we're going to say set width 5, and we're going to put kilowatt hours used. Okay. And how are we coming? And the last thing we're going to put is going to be the meter readings. So we're just going to copy this, because we're going to build an output line over that. So where does that come? Well, it comes right here. Meter readings. Alright, and this is the starting reading. What's the format? 2, 4, 6, 8. So we say set width 8. And we're going to put meter start followed by the word initial, followed by these spaces. If you copy the spaces, you can't go wrong. Oops. Followed by what? This is meter. Oops. Need a width of 8 again. And followed by meter in. It's all going to be followed by space final. And the blank lines. Okay. Okay. Again, we're doing the things we know how to do, and we're kind of holding off on other things. So let's try to run this. And I think with this, I must quit. I must get to see you in office hours. So we're going to compile this. Okay, set width. I'm getting an error because I don't have formatting set. So I need to include IO manip. We'll be out of here. Well, I really need 2 things, don't I? I need F stream because we're going to use files eventually. We need IO manip. And now we're going to compile again. What's going on here? IO manip. Did I save this? Okay, 117, I have an error. Okay, what's going on here? The error is that I have this extra close brace here. Okay. Alright, notice that we're going to do this later. Let's just mark this as a later. Alright, so this will be done later. Let's get out. Going to compile again. Okay, and now we can run it. And none, and 2 and 1, 2 and 3. And this is good. Alright, and notice that we have kind of the right stuff. It looks okay, it looks okay. Alright, now the only thing that's missing is we got to go in and calculate the payment. And for that, of course, we have to go back to the assignment and do all of our stuff. Alright, with that, we're going to stop. Do you get the feel now of how you do one little thing at a time? Do one thing and then we'll add more as we go.